Good morning. Happy Thursday. This looks like it's setting up correctly. So we're getting an Iggy instance per arena. But TIKV isn't in the right spot. Also, there's this local data Iggy stuff here. I'm going to get rid of this. Let's see if that comes back. Let's run it again. So far, so good. Interesting that this is failing to connect. Is it because something is still running? Ah, okay. So that's not getting shut down correctly. We have a little bit of leakiness with our tests. Yeah, I was hoping that drop would do a better job. So we have our test context drop. We call shutdown and self. And then we send sig term to a number of processes. The reason I do that is because TIKV is a collection of processes. So you have to not kill it. Right? Is that the wrong one? Hmm. Software termination signal. That does feel correct. Maybe we could do sig quit? I don't know. I mean, sig int is how I normally shut it down if I'm just running it. And I just hit Control C and that sends sig int to it. We could try that. Seconds, well, okay. And this one's leaky because the process is still running. Interesting. So going between sig kill and sig int has slowed the process. See, I still have 4 running. But what is running? So we have TIKV is still running. And for a couple of these, still some Iggy and Gauntlet. It's like they didn't catch the signal. Yeah, I'll show you what I'm seeing. Yeah, they are slow. Let's switch over here, bring this on screen. So you can see here we're running next test. We're running Gauntlet. Gauntlet spawns TIKV, rather TI up. We have 2 tests here, this one and this one, that are waiting for TIKV to shut down. This one is waiting. Oops. This one is waiting for Iggy's server data. Like everything is still running. This one, what are you waiting for? Yeah, TIKV, TI up. So let's play around with this. Let's hit F9 and kill it. But how do we want to kill it? Because I was sending SIGINT. Does SIGINT not kill these? Okay. Sig quit. Oh, sig quit did. Let's try again. Iggy server doesn't seem to respond to sig quit. Okay, so ti up does sig quit. Iggy sending sigint. Fascinating. And then why did some of these sig quit for ti up? Okay. This one here is probably the one that's being a nuisance anyways. So I'm going to skip that one. Kill this off. We'll do sig quit for ti up. Yeah, KV, let's you sig quit. Okay. Control C on that. Let's give it a run again. So looks like down to the bottom here. Fail plus leak. Okay. Let's see. We have still running. We do have some parentless applications now. So Iggy server. All right. These here. These look like they're just older. The process IDs. Well, maybe not. I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and kill them off. So Iggy, will you shut down if I? Yes. Okay. Sig int is fine for Iggy. Sig quit for ti up. Looks like we're leaking more. Doesn't seem right. Okay. One running. Most of these pass now. Except the one. Okay. Okay. F4 mutes that input. Whatever. Okay. Let's go ahead and kill these off. Hmm. Fascinating. So these gauntlet processes are not responding to sig kill. And that probably means that we have some apps floating around somewhere. So funny how we can just have so much memory and CPU nowadays that you wouldn't notice these things just lingering around. Trying to hunt them down in that process list. Let's see, where are they? Research. There's one. I think I found one that's just been around for a while. I think we're clear. Clicky tests. Tokyo process command can be configured to do so. I have this configured already to 1,000 milliseconds. Okay, let's look at the slow test. Nathan, happy Thursday. Does it support linearizable read? I'm not sure what the subject is here. Sorry, sometimes there's a delay, and I wasn't actually paying attention to chat this morning. I think this is good. Now, going back to Gauntlet itself here. This one. I know that I'm waiting for this ACK. No, I don't want to chat. Thank you. I'm waiting for these ACKs. The reason the ACK is not coming through is because a mutation's being made. And the mutation ends up going into this channel of one here. So the mutation that gets made inside of SQLite, the VFS is signaling over to data plane, like, hey, there's a mutation. This, I purposely set it to 1 so we'd have a little back pressure. The mutation, which is being managed. We detect it, send it, etc. So data plane needs to send it to data archive. However, for whatever reason, data plane is not clearing this channel. And that's why this is failing, because the VFS cannot send a second thing, a second mutation. And it is expecting to send 1,000 mutations, wherever we were, over here. So I just went through the process last night of changing how our test context gets built up. Now, by default, all logging is off. In this case, I want pretty much all logging to be off, except for, let's turn that back off, all file. Yeah, we could do debug for that. I want data plane console to be log level. Let's go trace for that. I believe console hotel has to be the same or better, right? So I think console is a subset of what we send to hotel. Okay. So now we should get less mess. We will run a test. We will run it with no capture. No. Let's go to the beginning of this. Starting up, we start the Iggy server. Iggy's pretty quick to start up. I want to also verify that starting up with the right values. See, this endpoint here should be different. Our test context has a base kind of port of 12,050. So having all of these configured with ports that are not the same is a little disturbing. However, archiver is set to false. And okay, this is the archiver endpoint, which is not configured. Enabled false. Message saver enabled true. Okay, doesn't seem to be a port for that. Logging cache. Stream topic. Okay. Quick is disabled. It's fine. TCP enabled. And there's 1250 here. So that did get configured, which is nice. IPv6 is disabled. That's fine for this. Okay, well, it looks like everything else that has a port setup is actually disabled. So that's a good verification. Tree off, good. All right. So that looks fine. So our configuration of Iggy looks correct. Iggy starts up. Then what do we have? We have these thread IDs 0 and 1. I believe these here. What is this? It would be nice if it said something more than server at the top so I could identify it more easily. It seems that you are a developer. Okay, this is Iggy. Oh, I see. Log level is info. We could probably bump that up. Okay, where is the Iggy config? Test context. Spawn Iggy. We have our log config. Iggy, configure Iggy. Oh, we're not using the log config. This is our config that we write to disk. Where's our logging? Data state, HTTP, cores, JWT, metrics, getting closer. Socket, quick. Message clear. Tree logs. Traces. System logging. Here we go. Log level. This should be, let's see. Format. We want that to be, no, this, I don't know why it's suggesting this. So I am a software engineer. AT24, thank you for the question. And your question is, may I inquire what you do for work, seeing as this is for fun in Rust, LOL. I am a software engineer. I've been a software engineer for a long time. Um, the I am employed as a software engineer, but part of my agreement with my employer is that I don't talk about my employer while I stream. So I won't talk about my employer while I stream, but I will say that let's see, what can I say? Mm, yeah, I'm a principal software engineer, and um, yeah. I guess I don't want to get too far into it because I don't want to mess things up. So here, let's get. We need the config value. Log. Oh, there we go. Console level. All right, so we have our console level there. Mismatch types. Yes. Go ahead and add that for me. Thank you. That looks good. We've got an issue here because we didn't pass this in. Config console level. It's close, but I don't think that's exactly what I want. Prefer to just do that. Oh, yes, okay. We need that because it's an enum. Any tips for somebody wanting to get into AI and ML? Oh, you're a mechanical engineering student at the minute. You're going for an MSc in computer science. Nice. Um, you want to get into AI and ML? Goodness, everybody is rushing into that pool of water. Um, I would say first start with some of the fundamentals, like kind of get an understanding of what it is, and then like even this morning I was looking at there's a Rust. I like Rust, so I was looking at Burn. Um, I forget what the here it is, burn.dev. It's a deep learning framework. Right? They have some documentation, um, but it's really specific to you know to how the systems would actually work and not what the theory is behind it. So if you're looking to get in, I would say understand the theory and then try to map that to the actual libraries out there. I would also say play around with it. You're trying to develop something, try to solve a problem, right? I always find that um, doing something is a bit like learning a language, right? You actually have to put time in order to get better at it. So find something that you can actually put time in towards. Right? At the moment, I'm doing some, mental exercises before I go off to my day job, which is why I'm kind of putting in some Rust stuff here. I don't actually do Rust for my day job. Like I can say that. But I like Rust and I like the programming languages, Erlang, Elixir, like all sorts of things. Um, I started out as a C developer. Well, I guess if you go back far enough, it was basic on a uh, something that resembled a TRS-80. Um, if you're not familiar with the um, kind of history and how AI kind of works currently, the transformers, there's a good kind of walk through by three blue, one brown. I forget what the colors are. It's this one here. They do a bit of stuff on AI. See neural networks here, and it's I don't know. I like the visuals on this. I'm going to drop this into chat in each chat. Um, but this is really interesting. It kind of gives you a bit of a history on the propagation and how current LLMs work, etc. It's short, but it gives you a little bit of kind of a, I'll say, very light introduction into the fundamentals of AI. But then finding something where you can go a little deeper would be good. Probably taking a course on it somewhere. Oh, Sergeant Pepper, you recently built an LLM from scratch, which looks pretty good. It's all in Python, so you're going to try to translate the code examples to Rust bindings for libtorch because you're not a Python fan. Oh, that's cool. Do you have, let's see, I'm going to do a quick asking the Oracle for a link on this. Is that this book here? The Manning book? It's pretty cool. Suspect that most of the industry is going to be around LLMs, right? Building agents. Looks cool. Hmm. That could be fun. I'm gonna leave this open. Actually, gonna first turn on dark mode for Manning, and then drag this up to the top. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Sergeant Pepper. I want to use the AI stuff as a tool. Like I see it coming. It's going to be there. It's a new tool. Um, oh wow, sign up and save 40%. Is that on top of whatever this discount already is? And who is Sebastian Roshka? PhD. Senior staff at an AI company and statistics professor. Fascinating. Hmm. And Baha Muhammad, I am not implementing SQLite from scratch. There are some other projects that do that. But what I am actually interested in doing is here, let me pull up the architecture. Here's our systems diagram. Is building a VFS because SQLite is everywhere, right? You can basically have SQLite run on anything. Um, and my goal is to have kind of a new stack, right? Where you have an application that uses SQLite, but the stack actually takes and routes traffic to machines that do mutation or reads. And the mutation machine would have a VFS set up, so it would look for changes that are happening from the application to the database. As those mutations happen, a change would be detected by a data plane and be sent to the data archive, which would provide point in time DB recovery and kind of fan out to the rest of the machines. So the rest of the machines, the readers, would take the stream of mutations, apply them to the SQLite databases for the readers to use. Right? So I really have no interest in rewriting SQLite from scratch in Rust. I have a blog um, pinned somewhere that talks about doing some of that. I just find it fascinating, so I follow along. Um, but for this project, no, it's just use SQLite, load a VFS. The VFS we've written is in Rust, as is the proxy, the data plane, the data archive, cluster management. I think this might end up being, I've been thinking a lot about that. And I think we're going to use corrosion. Um, it's written in Rust. Um, I don't know. I find it interesting. I'll toss this in here. Oh, and I didn't give the link to the book to the YouTube chat. Let me do that. As Ati, that might be useful. Ah, you love three blue, one brown, or three brown, one blue. Goodness, I always get those B's confused. You're going for a deep dive, extra courses, and it's online. Nice. Yeah, absolutely. And Sergeant Pepper, thank you for sharing about the book. I didn't know it existed, but this is useful. I might take a tour through this as well. I just wonder what sort of hardware you need for this, right? For training a large language model. And I do have about 10 minutes before I have to get ready and head off to work. So back to the code. Where is the code? Here it is. All right, so this here, this was Iggy. So we're spawning Iggy past the logging throw. Okay, that should be configured. Let's go ahead and kill that. It's interesting. What is this ng monitoring quit? Waiting for PID that? Hmm. I don't see that process anywhere. 7340, 354. Yeah, it's already quit. All right, let's run it again. Conda, I don't want to get into the Python bits. I'd rather just stick with Rust at the moment. I'm actually interested in kind of looking at the book, and instead of PyTorch like Sergeant Pepper's looking into, I think it would be neat to try to map that into Burn. And this still looks like these are infos. Okay, so let's configure Iggy. I'm surprised. AIKV client. Oh, what is this? Okay, that looks like it might actually be our problem, and that we can't connect to the TIKV server. Or was logging, phrases. Switch to warning for Iggy. 715209. Happy Thursday. How are you? Interesting. Okay, now we have data plane and fewer log entries from Iggy. Lovely. Okay, that's good. So we have trace set up for data plane. I just wonder what the errors are. Warning. I don't see any errors in here. We did see a panic previously in the previous run, but I'm not seeing it this run. Maybe it's further down. Ah, yes. Here it is. Called unwrap on a none value. TIKV client. What is this? Previous.leader as ref. So there is not a previous leader. Try connect leader. Is this going to happen because it's already running? Control C. Does not appear to be running. I wonder, where's this called from? Reconnect and cluster connect. It's probably coming from here. Fascinating. Let's try to just run that. So the way I have the Gauntlet arena set up, Gauntlet is what I have set up um, for my integration tests because it requires a number of processes running. A Gauntlet arena, insert many entries. See, there's nothing in here. I wonder why TIKV doesn't actually use this directory for anything. So what I would expect is that, let's see, what's our test context here? How do we set up TIKV? There's our VFS. Iggy, TIKV. So we go into the TIKV path, which, what is that set to? Yeah, okay, so it goes into this directory. This is its spawned directory. So we call TI up, playground, mode, TIKV, slim, port, offset. Goodness, I don't know. It was like, oh, this is interesting. Why do we have that and that? Okay, this looks incorrect. We shouldn't have this twice. Oh, no. We do need this twice. This is the port we're waiting for. So we're going to wait for this port to light up and be available before we move on. That's right. Okay, maybe we should use a different port, but that's not important for starting it up. We just need the offset. And in this case, was it 1250? No, 12050. I think it's this. Base port, create test config. Okay. TIKV port offset. So it's base port plus 4. Let's just run that. That seems fine. Maybe it doesn't like that port that we're waiting for. What's the offset here? Let's say 14433 minus, let's see, 12054. Almost. 2379. I think that was the port we were waiting for. Yeah, 2379. So why would that crash? Why would we get an exception there? Okay, there. This guy. Thread main panicked. Is that just because we connected to it? Oh, well, Ati, thank you for hopping in, and happy Thursday. Let's see, I'm going to netcat to this port just to simulate what's going on here. New terminal. Netcat to that. I think it's a space. No, wrong one. This one. There's no issue. Colon is incorrect, right? Yeah. Hostname ports. So it was fine with that. Hmm. Oh well. Oh, I'll have to figure that out. But thank you all for hanging out. We're gonna give somebody a raid. Let's figure out who. Let's see if anybody's streaming Rust. Doesn't look like it. All right. Commander Thrashton is streaming. Man, it's been a while. He's doing C++, it looks like. All right. Channel's offline. Never mind. All right. Anybody have any suggestions? So I'm not seeing anybody. Excuse me. Oh, goodness. I hit the wrong mute. Am I? Been a little off this week. My wife came down with a cold, so expect a cold. All right. Well, I'm going to pick somebody at random. because I have to get to work. We're going to raid. No idea. Anyhow, you guys know I have a soft spot for Godot. Raid full box. So talk to y'all later. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.